if you are moving to Germany, it's very, very important for you to learn the language even before you come here. But I won't say the language is going to give you 100% assurance that it will make your life easy here. I feel like the language is very, very overrated because, as from my experience, I got a job even without speaking the language simply because I had the number of the director of a legal assistant. Before I started working as a legal assistant, I built a list of everyday German words. So I built a list of like 1,000 German words. Then I translated everyday German words from English to German. So, and every time I went to my workplace, I always memorized, at least I tried to memorize 50 or 100 of those words. I studied something related to tech. And also the good thing is that Germany really needs a lot of IT support personnel that is related to tech. And IT support in general does not require perfect German.
Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Onlyfacts Podcast. I'm your host today, Success, Nigerian by birth, German by registration. Do please to follow us on our social media platform, and yeah, thanks for tuning in today. On today's episode, we want to address a very crucial topic. I mean, people plan on relocating to Germany. It's a big opportunity, but nobody really talks about the survivor part of living in Germany, especially if you don't speak the language perfectly. So today we have brought someone very interesting to help us dive into this topic properly. And yeah, so our guest today is... Please introduce yourself for us.
Yeah, my name is Chimeka Okezi. I'm from Nigeria. I currently study in Germany, Berlin. Yeah.
Okay. So I know you came here, so we've had obviously some background talks already, but I just want our viewers to also get to know you a bit more personal. How did you end up in Germany in the first place, and why Germany?
So as soon as I was born, my parents just put me on a plane and they sent me off to Germany.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Yeah.
So seriously, I came to Germany to study in Berlin here because I got offered to study in a private university in Berlin. So, and I studied data analytics, masters in data analytics, and I currently work in IT support. I transitioned from data analytics to IT support because IT support is a very, very in-demand field in Germany. Apart from that, I currently, right now, I'm learning German. I'm also doing some side jobs on the side as I do my freelancing. So the experience is getting better.
Okay, so you mentioned that you got offers from private uni to study in Germany. Was that the major reason you came to Germany, or was it like you've always kind of knew, okay, at some point I want to relocate to Europe and it's going to be Germany, or were there other countries that were probably also in perspective for you?
I've always wanted to come to Germany since I've been little, actually, from the way it looks and the cars. But Germany wasn't the first country I studied in. I studied in Northern Cyprus. But then I decided that, okay, I want to further my studies in a better country. And Germany was very attractive to me. Germany wasn't my first option. My first option was United States. Well, in United States, it's very difficult to get a visa from my home country, which is Nigeria. It's very difficult to get a visa to United States from Germany.
Okay, so I just want to go back because obviously we want to talk about the work culture and how you have been surviving, or how people can survive in Germany without German. So I just want to go back to, what did you study for your bachelor degree? So what, was it also in IT related field, or what was that?
No, it was in business informatics. It's a combination of business and IT.
Yeah. And which uni was that?
That was a Guinea American University in Northern Cyprus. Northern Cyprus is...
so you didn't go to uni in Nigeria?
No. I didn't study in Nigeria.
Okay.
I wanted to, but my parents said, they don't want... My senior brothers were studying, but then my senior siblings left to a foreign country. So as it was my turn to study in Nigeria, I wanted to go to Unilag. My parents told me that, no, and there's too much... there's a lot of things going on right now in Unilag, so it's better you just go abroad to be with your older siblings.
Yeah. Okay. So, since you moved to Germany, what has been like one of the shocking, let me say, experience for you generally, not work related, just as a foreigner that just came to Germany, like what's been shocking for you? One shocking experience.
Yeah, one of the most shocking experiences I faced in Germany was it's very difficult for you to break the ice, like for you to build relationship. It's not easy because when I met someone in my school, this person normally in class we talk a lot, we see each other, but as soon as as soon as I saw the same person in the bus or in the train, the person will act like they don't know you, because it's very difficult for you to break personal relationships with other professional side of relationship. So you need to be able to build meaningful relationship with friends.
Yeah.
And for me, that is very, very difficult. It's very, very difficult for me to make new friends outside of where I know them
like
from.
a particular setting. Just to add to that, because you hear a lot of, your work friends are not your friends. So it's just because you be out to work, for example, you probably do lunch with this person. The moment it's closing time, it's like two completely strangers. Let me put it that way.
Not even only in the workplace, but in my school, even with people I see on a regular basis. It's just that relationships are more private.
Yeah.
You don't really get to be free with the kind of person you talk with in Germany.
Would you say that's coming from maybe expectations of like, because I know Nigerians are more open to friendship and stuff. So if you go to school with a Nigerian, probably you'll see the person outside, hey, my guy, what's up, blah, blah, blah. So conversation just starts to flow from there. So would you say it's more of a cultural shock, or it's just also you being reserved because, this is not my country, or I don't want to cross any boundaries?
I would say it's a mix of both, but it's also a cultural shock because it's very difficult for you to see someone that you don't know and build a relationship with in Germany. I feel like people here are also reserved, and they don't build relationship with strangers that much. Because in Nigeria, you can see someone you met on the streets, but not complete stranger, but maybe you know him from your school, maybe your parents know him, and you can just ask him for, okay, I need to buy food. I don't have money to buy food. And the person won't really think much of it. The person will buy you food. From then, you can build a relationship. And even when you're at home now, you can just call the person, oh, please, let's hang out. I'm free today. The person can come and visit you in your house. It's a normal. But in Germany, it's complicated. Like, everybody is busy, and also the person won't have the time, and they are not very, very interested to be with you. And
do you really think so, or it's just maybe there is no initiative from, I would say, the foreigner side? Let me not make it more personal, like your side, for example, because I know. So I did study here as well, and I can relate to your story in the sense, okay, your peers in class are not necessarily your friends, except you make during that period of you guys studying. So I did a 3 years course. So if I don't put effort into building the relationship in that 3 years, like, let's hang out, let's go bowling, let's do this, check up on you randomly. So somebody has to start the conversation. So would you say you have done that and then still face this?
Yeah, I have done that also. I have friends that I normally hang out with, but I feel like in general, it's not quite easy to adapt to the society, like to adapt to different people and different personalities. And
also because in Germany, you don't just meet Germans, you also meet people from all around the world,
different cultures, so it's like a combination of different things, different people and different tradition.
Yeah. So when you moved to Germany, you started studying immediately, or what was the plan? Like, just take me through your journey when you came to Germany. You went straight to uni, you had to work. Well, how was that for you?
I got a job immediately. My first job was in nursing. In Germany, we call it Flieger assistant. So I got it after 1 month. I came to Germany February 2025 and I got a job as a nursing assistant in next month, March.
Yeah, and you don't have any background in nursing or...
No, it's actually an interesting story. I don't have any background in nursing, but what I did was that I was able to get in contact with the director of a nursing company. I can't say the name here because it's private. So I was like, oh, please, I'm looking for a job. And I don't really know how to speak German very well. He told me that, I have a position for you in the nursing field. I will be very interested if you come and speak with me. And the interesting part about it, I didn't go through any interview.
Yeah.
It wasn't difficult and it was very, very fast.
And the pay was decent, would you say? Or would you say it was more of survivor payments?
It was very, very decent. It was 18 euros an hour.
Okay.
But because I was a student, of course, I had to work part-time.
Okay, and then after that, you got your IT job. What was the breaking transmission there?
So, as I was working as a nursing assistant, I was, just doing the normal legal assistant for like 7 months. The good thing about it is that I was able to see the German work culture in the nursing assistant.
You mentioned that when you were working as a legal assistant, you got the opportunity to kind of like know the German work culture in terms of Pflegebereich. So in terms of when it comes to their health sector, do you want to mention some of those things you learned? Or
the old people in Germany, they have a specific insurance.
Okay.
So I was able to see the documents. I didn't go into details. That was one of the things I learned. I learned the documents they use. I also learned German food. I learned the types of food they eat. And I also learned, as I was working, I learned different words. I learned the German words, German sentences. I was able to build conversational type of German because you can just study German, but we may not be able to build the conversation type.
Yeah.
So
during this period, were you going to like any German school to improve your German? Or it was just for you, okay, let me just work and make some cash first?
No, I was doing Duolingo by the side. As the distance from my house to the legal assistant was 1 hour. So during that 1 hour, I'm just going to spend it on the train doing Duolingo.
Yeah, and then after that, you moved to your warehousing job. And how long was that?
The warehouse job was
because that's a classic. I feel like every foreigner in Germany has at some point done warehousing job for a starter. So yeah, was that with any popular company like Amazon, or which company was it?
It was with Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah, the warehouse was very, very short. It was brief actually. And I feel like I was laid off for no reason. But that is a different story right now. Okay.
And then now you got into your IT.
Yeah, after warehouse, I spent some time doing delivering job. I delivered packets. Also, I delivered food.
Yeah.
Then before I got into my IT support freelance.
Yeah, but another thing that's confusing me right now is your main purpose of relocating to Germany was to study.
Yes.
So during this period, you have not gotten into uni, you have not started studying, you're just working.
No, I was studying and working at the same time.
Okay. So you're studying part-time and then working?
I was studying full-time, working part-time.
Okay.
It's a private school, so it's easy to study and work full-time. Because the semester is, if you want to study, you select your courses, and then you are able to manage the time you want to work with the time you want to study. So if you want to study on Monday in the morning, you can now tell your boss that you should make it your work any day apart from Monday. Okay, so you get to literally plan your timetable yourself and then do all your schedule yourself and stuff. Exactly, yes. Okay. So how did you transition? Are you still studying currently? Let's just get that out of the way, or you've graduated fully now? I've graduated fully. I'm done with my studies. So how did you transition from what you originally studied to IT support, right? Because that's what you said you're doing right now. Yeah. Well, how was the transition for you, and
what prompted that decision?
Yeah, the good thing is that I studied something related to tech. And also the good thing is that Germany really needs a lot of IT support personnel that is related to tech. And IT support in general does not require perfect German. It doesn't really require perfect German, except if you are communicating with your colleagues or with the management. So the transition for me was very, very easy. I had basic background in tech that includes also Python and using a computer, also using Microsoft. But then I also did some courses. I did extra courses in little things like fixing computers, in POS setup, in also CCTV. So that helps me transition easily.
So what prompted the decision? Because your major field was not in demand, or what made you transition? Because you could have, I think, if you study something related to IT, there's a lot of stuff you can do apart from IT support. Like what prompted the decision?
Yeah, I wanted to study data analytics, but I was finding it very difficult to break into the field of data analytics. It was so saturated, and I felt like I wasn't just getting any job offer or job interview. I don't really know the reason why, because most the jobs I applied for, they said that I needed C1 German language. And mind you, my German back then was, when I started applying for this job, was B2.
Okay.
And I wrote in my CV, I think I wrote in my CV C1. So I don't know how they didn't know that I can't speak
German. So probably that's not the reason. It's because if your CV says C1, then maybe they were just stronger candidates or
other candidates. So because of that, I decided to, let me just switch entirely to a different field.
Okay. So are you happy now currently with the field that you are? And you mentioned also that you don't necessarily need German for your work. Do your colleagues speak to you in German or in English, or what's the relationship like?
So as a freelancer, you work when you want to work. And you don't really have a colleague. You don't speak to any colleague, because your boss is the company itself. So the boss gives you clients, and you choose which client you want to work for. But you need to select it fast, because there are other freelancers. So I don't have any colleague I speak to, but I do speak to my client, and my client I speak German to my clients. I speak basic Germans to them.
Okay. How are you surviving working in German culture without German? Because obviously before now you can speak a bit of German and stuff, but before this you were already working. So how was that like, especially when you're working in the Pflegebereich? Because I know you have to, especially when you're working with older people as well. They don't like to speak other languages. They want to speak German with you. And their German are even more deeper, let me put it that way.
Yeah, right. The thing what I did was, the main reason why I was able to survive, it was because I had connections. I had the number of the director of the Fliga assistant. So I feel like getting the connection is very, very important. Also, before I started working as a Fliga assistant, I built a list of everyday German words. So I built a list of like 1,000 German words. Then I translated everyday German words from English to German. So, and every time I went to my workplace, I always memorized, at least I tried to memorize 50 or 100 of those words before I go there. So, and also I look for words that is being used mostly in the Flieger. For example, sauber, which means clean. Essen, all those words, open. I use all those words.
Everyday words, basically.
Yeah, to manage myself. And also I didn't really push myself too much to the old people. The old people were very, very easy to communicate with. They don't use complicated words in German.
Really?
Yeah, they don't use complicated words.
Okay, that's new, because people will say the old Germans use deep German, and like the dialects, the German dialects. There's a dialect as well. So there's basic German, and then there's like deep German as well. And someone would think, oh, the old people are more like very deep in speaking. They
know how to speak very well, of course, but when they don't, all I mean is that they don't use complicated words. For example, they just use 9. I'm going there, I'm coming there. So I want to eat this, I want to eat this food, I want to eat this food. Do you have keza? Do you have bread for me? Because Germans, when I was working in the Flieger assistant, they used to eat bread and butter.
Yes, that's
Every time the old people always eat bread and butter. So
it's not just the old people, it's actually a German culture.
German.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the afternoon by 3 p.m. they eat coffee and kuchen. So every day was the same thing. So it's very, very easy for me to work without speaking the language.
And get into the routine. Okay. So now moving into the future, do you have plans to perfect your German and apart from working as a freelancer, also get into like a proper German working company, or you actually enjoy your job as a freelancer? I think working as a freelancer gives you a lot of freedom and a lot of free will in terms of making decisions of when and who to work for, basically.
Yes, in the future, I will always want to perfect my German because I like learning. I would like to reach C1 or C2 level. And also I enjoy working as a freelancer. Freelancer is very, very good because you don't get to speak a lot of German with people. But then again, it's always important for you to know the language.
Yeah.
That helps a lot.
Okay, so if someone is moving to Germany now for study, for work, for relocation, for whatever purpose, they might deem it fit to relocate to Germany, what would be your advice for them in terms of, let's just say, general living and surviving in Germany?
I would say if you are moving to Germany, it's very, very important for you to learn the language even before you come here. But I won't say the language is going to give you 100% assurance that it will make your life easy here. I feel like the language is very, very overrated because as from my experience, I got a job even without speaking the language simply because I had the number of the director of a Flieger assistant. So the language helps, but it's not the best thing you can do in Germany. There are other things you should also look forward that you should also learn. For example, you should learn how to be punctual.
Yes.
You should learn how to be punctual. You should learn how to be resilient. You also need to learn how to make sure that every day you are improving. You are improving the way you walk, the way you talk with people, the way you build relationships. Because there are some people they don't know how to build relationship with others. They don't know how to sell themselves. For example, I know a friend and she has a CV. I saw her CV and the CV was very, very bad. The CV was so bad. She doesn't know how to present what she has accomplished to the German market.
Okay, that's a very good point. Yeah, because I know I've also seen different people write CVs, and Germans, they will tell you it should be looking lows. So there should not be any form of discrepancy in between dates, for example. So if you write, for example, I did this in 2024 and then I did this in 2026, they're going to ask you, what did you do between 2024 and 2026? So those are kind of like little details that matters a lot when it comes to like the CV part. There is something you have been mentioning since that just popped in my head. You had the director's number of the Pflege. Was it a Pflegeheim? Like a Pflege house?
Yes.
Yeah, then it was a Pflegeheim. So you had the number of the Pflegeheim. People will say that only works in Nigeria or in African country or in certain parts of the world where you need to know somebody that knows somebody to get into the system. So how did you get a Pflege director's number? Okay,
yeah, before I tell you that, I just wanted to say what you said when you said about African culture. The thing is that even though right now I've done a lot of intensive research on my CV and I still can't get a job. So I feel like because I was able to get his number, that was the main defining point. I was able to get a job because I've improved my CV. I get a B2 German language. I try to sell myself properly. I have a lot of connections in Germany and I wasn't able to get a job. So that direct experience with the hiring manager was what really made me to get the job because it wasn't a stranger to me. I got his number from Facebook.
Okay.
I got his number from Facebook because I met him on an app. The name is Meetup. So I messaged him on Facebook. He gave me the number. And I was like, please, I really need a job. It was that initial
conversation
and the initial connection that got me that job.
Okay.
Apart from that, if you don't know a connection in Germany, you will just be sending your CV to like almost 1,000 companies. And I know people that are doing that. I know people that every day they wake up, they have to send at least 10 CVs out. The problem with that is that one day you will get a call and you will actually forget, oh, who is this company I called? Who is the company I sent my CV to? So instead of sending 1,000 CVs to random companies, I feel like it is a better strategy for you to find a way to get someone or know someone that is already in the company. Like I have a roommate actually right now. I have a roommate that I'm staying with. He told me that he's an engineer at Walt, and that if I want to give him his CV, he's going to send his CV to his team. And I feel like if I give him my CV right now, I will definitely get a job because I see him every day. I can ask him, oh bro, can I even go to your company to speak to your team? But I didn't give him my CV because I already signed the contract to work as a freelance support. So that is just my idea.
Basically, the know somebody ideology still works here.
It's better than sending your CV out.
Because in my head, I'm thinking, I've been here for a very long time, right? Over a decade. And if I want to get into a job, for example, except I know someone personally from my cycle, I'll just send a CV. I'm not going to now go and put, I don't want to call it extra effort, but the first thing that will pop up in my mind is not, oh, let me look for the team lead number. Let me look for the director board number. So how do you even get this number? You mentioned Facebook. You mentioned an app you were using, Meetup. Apart from these two strategies, how do people get in contact with the right people in Germany?
It's personal. Like there's no 100% point that, okay, this is how you're going to get professional numbers that can change your life. There's no way I can't. But what I would just suggest is that you need to find a way to build relationships. You need to find a way to talk to people. Like you need to be charismatic. You need to find a way to show people that you are worthy of the position that you are applying for, because you are not the only person looking for that same job. In Germany, there are millions of people just like you looking for the same job. So how are you going to be different? What makes you different from the next 1 million people? The only reason that you can be different is if you can convince your colleagues that you are trying to get that position. You need to convince them that you are worthy of the position you're looking for. And the only way you can convince them is if you can sell yourself, if you can be charismatic
properly. Oh, I'm actually very shocked to this point because in my head, I've always thought the know somebody that knows somebody culture to help you out with something is more of, maybe because I'm Nigerian, more of a Nigerian setting. I've never thought about it as a job, but if I think deeper now, obviously if I'm working in a company and my friend gives me his or her CV to apply, they might have more opportunity or their chances might be higher to get the job just because I'm already in the space. So it will just depend on finding the right person, the right contact at the right time and at the right place. Okay. So now that you've clarified that, I want to go back to,
I also want to add something else if I can. Also, it's not only by knowing someone. You can actually be in a company now and maybe you are in a lower position. And if the company have a different position, maybe in IT or in a position you're interested in, it will also be easy for you to transition. Because they mostly do internal recruitment before they put it out.
Before they put it out as well. Yes, exactly. So now that we've dived into so many parts of your study, your work, the German, I just want to, let's talk about the work culture in Germany generally. What are some things you would say people should not do in the workplace or people should expect in the workplace?
Well, in the workplace, you should expect directness. I feel like all this thing is common. You should expect directness. I have a story, right? I was working in the as a Flieger assistant, and one of my colleagues, she was confused with the way I spoke with her. She was wondering, why was I speaking in such a vague, or like I was speaking very flexible. For example, we both wanted to fix this problem. Maybe the motion machine was broken, and I was like, I was like, let's decide this. Let's make sure that if you can stay here, I'm going to go to this place and I'm going to bring an equipment so that you can fix it. I spoke it in German actually. And she was like, why am I being so? She was kind of confused. She wanted me to just be direct and to tell me, okay, do this X, do this, finish this, do this. I feel like the work culture in Germany is more like that. Do this, do this, do this, do this. There's no vague, there's no real flexibility. There's no way you can convey a message if it's not do this, do this.
Direct message, and just, so it's more of, instead of you suggesting something to me, just tell me what you want me to do.
Yes.
And then I'll get it done. Get it done as well. Okay, would you say, okay, I've heard this phrase a lot. Would you say your work colleagues can be your friends? Do you share, or would you say they are just work colleagues? Would you share personal experience, personal stories? Because Germans are also very nosy, though. Sometimes in a good way, sometimes in a it can be in a negative way. So would you say, okay, your work colleague can be more than work colleagues? And
yeah, 100% I agree that your work colleagues can be more than colleagues. I feel like your work colleagues can also be a friend. I don't have any experience having a German work colleague as a friend, but I do have their number. I won't necessarily, personally, I won't call them my friend, but I feel like we can be friends. But your boss can't be your friend, because I feel like your boss is not supposed to be your friend in the German work culture. And also, during the break, like when you have a break, you are more likely going to have personal conversations with
your
Germans.
colleagues, yeah.
Yes.
How would you say your boss can be your friend?
Because
are you mans as well now?
No, it's very complicated because I don't know, but when I was working as a Flieger assistant, the boss was, we looked at the boss like somebody that is very, very big. Like, in Nigeria, where I'm from, you can have informal conversations and informal relationship with your boss. It's not really such a big deal. For example, it's not a big deal to tell your boss to, can you give me money? Or you tell your boss that, can I enter your car and can you please drop me at that side? We can enter our boss's car. But in Germany, it's very, very formal. You can't.
Would you say is your work experience? Because thinking about it, I actually have a very good relationship with my boss, though.
It's
just personal experience.
It's my personal experience.
Okay.
I'm looking at it from my own lenses because I feel like yours could also be different.
Yeah, I understand the whole, but I don't know if I would say she's my friend or if we'll have a good relationship based on a good work. Yeah,
I think it's also based on personality. You know, if she's a open person, she can be your friend.
Okay, so she's not my friend, but we have a good relationship in the sense I've borrowed a car before and be like, oh, I want to go and buy something. Can I drive your car? And she gave me the key. But I understand the part where it's like there has to be some kind of limit. So it's not going to be like your best buddy that you can easily talk to and assess.
Yeah, and also why I said that is because when I was working in warehouse, you don't ask questions to your boss openly. Like there's a way you need to speak to your boss during the workplace. So for example, from what you said you had the boss that's your friend, which means that even during work settings, you can be open to her. For example, let's assume you're having a meeting with your boss and your boss is speaking in front of all your colleagues. You can't just raise your hand and tell your boss, hey, wait, why do you say this? We should do this. It will look irrational. So I had a friend that did that. The boss was speaking in the work meeting and he just raised his hand and telling me, I don't understand this. I need you to explain this in front of everybody during the meeting. Everyone was shocked. They looked at him. After two weeks, he got fired.
I don't want to debunk your experience, but I don't know if that is a German work culture or something per se. And then another thing is obviously different work sectors. So if you're working in warehousing job, because they know you are easily replaceable.
Yes.
That's the truth, because students especially do this job. So they know you are easily replaceable. It's easier for them to take advantage of you speaking up, right?
Exactly.
But on a normal day, just to go back to your point, if we're in a meeting and it's work-related opinion, so it's not me trying to analyze her personally or say something that has to do with us both personally. So we're having a meeting or a review about a particular client and I have an opinion, I'm definitely going to state it. The difference might be the way I put it. I'm not going to put it in a disrespectful way or in a way that makes you look like you, the boss, don't know what you're doing. But It's going to be more of can I make a suggestion? I think we can do this and this. Can you people put it under review and get back to us? Or what do you think? So it's more of I don't know how to put it, but I don't think they shut down what you want to say, though.
Yeah, as you said, I read a book right now, and there's different countries, different work culture. But when the book I read, I don't know the name of the book because I was just browsing through and I saw an article. But I feel like the advice in Germany, it comes from above below, not from below above. In countries like United States, it is approved for you to be able to give your opinion to your boss. Like it's from below above in the United States. But in China and in Germany, based on what I've read, it's coming from the advice is usually always from above below. So yours experience is unique.
Yeah.
Actually, it's unique.
I don't want to debunk that, because obviously I don't have any proper research to back it up, apart from the fact that, this is my personal experience. So I'm just going to throw it to our audience to leave in the comment section below. Do you think it's okay in the German work culture for an employee to give their management, their boss, suggestion in terms of work related, obviously, right? Or do you think the advice, like you said, you read in the article, is from above to below, like the structure, or can it go from bottom also to the top? And that would be nice to see. So is there any other thing you want to add up to the interview
it's very,
today?
very important if the comment section can, solve this question. Because I've had a friend that actually got fired because he wasn't able to wait till after the meeting before he could go and ask his boss. He asked the boss in front of everybody, and it was very, very disrespectful.
Guys, leave it in the comment section below, because personally, I don't think anybody can fire me because I had an opinion. If I'm being disrespectful, obviously you can get fired for disrespect, for using wrong languages, for insulting your boss and stuff like that. But if I'm making a suggestion, so I work in the air freight sector, for example, and I need a shipment to go out, and I'm suggesting, instead of us to take Lufthansa, let's take Emirates, for example. Emirates has a better rate, and I have connection to their sales team, and we can even work down something. Like, I'm bringing suggestion to make a client work more easier and our job generally to be more successful. And then I get fired because of, I'm supposed to bring it to your table so that then you then share my idea in return to the team. Yeah. I don't know though, but it's interesting more, to hear.
Yeah, it's more how you present your opinion. It depends on if your boss have made a decision that this is how it's going to be, and you present your opinion in a way that I 100% believe that I'm right and you are wrong. Or you present your opinion in that, in so far that I've seen your decision and I can just suggest my own decision. It doesn't matter if you do it or if you don't do it. The guy, my friend that got fired, he was like, he wasn't trying to give anybody opinion or give a suggestion. He just raised his hand and said, I'm confused. I don't know what is going to go on today. Like, I was just asking a question. And based on that, the boss was very rude. The boss said, no. You are not supposed to speak this. Come closer, let me tell you. But then he didn't come closer. He was like, it's not because if I came closer to meet you. And then after 2 weeks, it was cleared. One of the boss said that after the meeting, I'm going to speak to you privately. Then he relaxed. But after 2 weeks, he got fired. And I could 100% believe it was because of that encounter.
So the sack letter, what was stated? What was the reason stated on it? Because
So just a generic.
again, another thing is there are work councils that protect employees in Germany. Actually, employees are even very protected in Germany compared to like the employers themselves. To be honest, so if someone sacks you, there has to be a very tangible reason, because when you check your contract, for example, maybe if it's a life contract, you cannot just put people out of their job for raising an opinion. I don't think that is a reason, except maybe you insult your boss, or you are not doing your work properly, or you are coming late to work. It has to be something that affects your job properly, not necessarily your opinion. So that's why I'm a bit skeptical. But it's generally, if something like this should happen, maybe in your circle or people that are working, maybe they should take this letter to, they're actually, what do you call them? Councils that will analyze this letter, get in touch with your work and see if it was lawfully okay for them to place you out of work or not. Yeah.
I'm glad you said that, because the person has been working in the company for 9 months. And in the sack letter, what was written was because it wasn't, what is the word? His performance wasn't good. So in the sack letter, it said that they gave him just a generic rejection letter that, unfortunately, you were not able to do so performance. We decided to terminate your contract. We can't give any specific reason. And that was it for him.
How long ago was this?
It was last year, October. Yeah.
I will take that letter to a work council, because I don't think if that's rightfully or lawfully right, let me put it that way. Obviously, I don't know what's stated in his contract. If it's stated that, if you can't get 20 clients within 6 months, we'll have to place you out, or if you can't meet so targets, we'll have to place you out. And then maybe the conversation in the meeting just triggered the whole process. To placing him out of the job. But generally, if you get a resignation letter in Germany or a sack letter, let me put it that way, you should always allow a lawyer check over it. If you cannot afford a lawyer, there are bodies regulated to help you out free of charge to analyze this situation. Just put your postal code. You can always Google it. Where can I go if I get sacked? And they will pop up, make an appointment. Most times you actually even find out, okay, it was not lawfully done, and then you have to get paid by the company or get re-employed by them. Yeah, well,
I agree.
It was nice having you today on the podcast. Thank you so much. Anything you want to share with us before we close today's episode?
I'll just say, if anybody that is viewing this right now and is wanting to come to Germany without speaking the German language, make sure that you are able to build good, strong connections, and also make sure that you develop your German language whenever you have the chance.
Yeah, you heard it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you on our next episode. Make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, and have a wonderful day, night, wherever you're watching from. Bye, y'all.